Welcome to Global Sky Update. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. This is why you need to pay attention to the South China Sea right now. Good evening. Tonight, we delve into a global flashpoint, the South China Sea. Just hours ago, a tense standoff nearly escalated into conflict. Philippine supply ships, on a routine mission, were surrounded by the Chinese Coast Guard. This wasn't just a local dispute, it was a challenge to international law and alliances. The stakes are high, with vital sea lanes carrying trillions in global trade. A conflict here would disrupt supply chains and threaten global peace. The mission was simple: deliver supplies to Filipino Marines on a grounded ship, a symbol of sovereignty. But China claims nearly the entire South China Sea, ignoring international rulings. As the Philippine convoy approached, the sea became a stage for confrontation. This is a story of a global power struggle, with the Philippines defending its territory against a rising superpower. Caught in the middle are sea lanes crucial to the world economy. Tonight, we have exclusive reports and first-hand accounts from the scene. We will show you the dramatic moments and analyze what this encounter means for the region and global security. The story begins at the Second Thomas Shoal, a place that could shape the 21st century. It is a story of courage, confrontation, and the delicate balance of power. To understand this crisis, you must first understand the Second Thomas Shoal, known as Ayungin Shoal in the Philippines. It's a submerged reef, part of the Spratly Islands, within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Its defining feature is the rusted BRP Sierra Madre, deliberately grounded in 1999 as a military outpost. For the Filipino Marines stationed there, life is one of isolation and hardship. Their only connection to the outside world is the radio and periodic resupply missions. These missions are their lifeline, bringing food, water, and news from home.
Every time we see the supply boats, we feel hope. It means we are not alone.
The BRP Sierra Madre is more than just a ship. It's a symbol of our resolve.
But for China, the BRP Sierra Madre is an illegal structure in their claimed territory. Beijing demands its removal, using their Navy and Coast Guard to enforce this. They harass and block resupply missions, hoping to force abandonment. If the Sierra Madre falls, China gains a strategic foothold. The South China Sea is rich in resources, with vast reserves of oil and natural gas. It is a superhighway for global trade, with over 1/3 of all international shipping passing through. Control of the Second Thomas Shoal means control over these resources and trade routes. This is why a rusty old ship has become the center of a geopolitical storm. The importance of this shoal goes beyond symbolism. The South China Sea is home to important fishing grounds, providing livelihoods for millions. The incident underscores the urgent need for clear rules of engagement. The global stakes are incredibly high. Ensuring freedom of navigation and upholding a rules-based international order is in every nation's interest. This is not just about rocks and reefs, it is about our shared future. Tension had been building for weeks, with Chinese vessels gathering near the shoal. The Philippine government knew this resupply mission would be a major test. They sent 2 civilian supply boats, escorted by a Philippine Coast Guard vessel. As the Philippine ships neared the shoal, the Chinese vessels appeared. These were massive, white-hulled ships from the Chinese Coast Guard. They formed a tight ring around the smaller supply boats.
You are entering Chinese waters. Leave immediately.
The blockade was absolute, a wall of steel on the open sea.
The captain of the Philippine Coast Guard escort responded calmly. He stated their position. They were in Philippine waters, on a humanitarian mission. The Chinese ships began to close in, their engines churning the water into foam. The vastness of the sea suddenly felt suffocating. This was a classic cabbage strategy from Beijing, designed to intimidate and overwhelm. But this time, the Philippines was not backing down. The stage was set for a dangerous escalation. The world watched, waiting to see what would happen next.
The standoff entered a more dangerous phase as the Chinese Coast Guard resorted to force. A powerful water cannon erupted from a Chinese ship, slamming into the Unaiza May 1. The force shattered windows and sent crew members scrambling for cover. Then came the lasers, targeting the bridge of the Philippine Coast Guard ship. A blinding green light swept across the command center, disorienting the crew. The assault was relentless, with Chinese ships performing aggressive maneuvers. The risk of a collision was incredibly high. The Chinese captains were pushing the limits, creating a chaotic situation. This was a calculated display of force, designed to be filmed and broadcast. China wanted the world to see what happens when you defy Beijing's will.
We knew what was at stake. We held our ground.
It was chaos, but the crew kept calm and followed orders.
The crew of the Uniza May had a different idea. They refused to back down, turning the tide of public opinion. Their bravery was about to be rewarded. The world was watching, and most of the world was not on China's side. The incident served as a wake-up call, strengthening resolve to coordinate more closely. The standoff was no longer a bilateral issue. It was a regional crisis. The incident at Second Thomas Shoal had successfully internationalized the dispute. The price of failure is simply too high for anyone to bear. On board the Uniza May 1, the situation was dire. The water cannon had ripped through the boat's canvas coverings. The crew, drenched and exhausted, worked frantically to control the damage.
The water hit us like a wall. I thought the boat would flip over.
The psychological pressure was immense. Surrounded by giant ships, bombarded by water, and blinded by lasers, the crew felt fear and defiance. We were civilians, not soldiers, on a humanitarian mission. You see these huge ships coming at you, and you feel so small. But then you look at the flag, and you find your courage. We knew we couldn't give up. We were carrying more than just supplies. We were carrying the pride of our country.
The captain of the Uniza May became a symbol of resistance. Through broken windows, he steered his small boat with determination. His leadership inspired his crew to keep fighting.
This was the human element of the standoff. Their struggle was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
Just as the situation seemed desperate, the dynamic changed. A new player entered the arena, the USS John Finn, an American warship. It maintained a safe distance, but its presence was a powerful signal. The United States was watching and standing with its ally, the Philippines.
The arrival of the USS John Finn was a consequence of the Mutual Defense Treaty. The treaty states that each country will come to the defense of the other. The American warship's appearance was a demonstration of commitment. The message was sent without firing a shot.
The effect on the Chinese vessels was immediate. The aggressive maneuvers became less frequent. The Chinese commanders faced a new problem. Confronting the small Philippine boats was one thing. Escalating a crisis with a U.S. Navy destroyer was another matter. The American presence altered the risk calculation for Beijing.
For the Filipino crew, the sight of the American warship was a relief. It was a sign that they were not alone. The arrival of the USS John Finn shifted the balance of power. It created a new space for the Philippine vessels to act.
With the Chinese ships momentarily hesitant, the next phase began. The USS John Finn employed electronic warfare measures. These disrupted the communication and radar systems of the Chinese vessels. This created confusion among the Chinese commanders.
A Seahawk helicopter appeared in the sky. It provided a clear picture of the scene, feeding intelligence to commanders. Its presence added psychological pressure on the Chinese.
This combination created the opening the Philippines needed. The Chinese ring of ships became less coordinated. Gaps appeared in their formation. The Uniza May 2 made a dash for it. It skillfully navigated through a gap in the blockade. The larger Chinese ships were too slow to react.
The breakthrough was a success. The Uniza May 2 reached the BRP Sierra Madre. The primary goal of the mission was accomplished. The Chinese vessels could only watch as the supply boat broke their encirclement. The blockade had been tested, and it had been broken.
The news of the standoff and the successful resupply mission spread rapidly. The United States issued a strong statement condemning China's actions. The statement reaffirmed its commitment to the Philippines under their Mutual Defense Treaty.
China's response was swift and defiant. They accused the Philippine vessels of illegally intruding into Chinese waters.
Chinese state media portrayed the US as a destabilizing force.
Regional allies of the Philippines voiced their concerns. They supported the arbitral ruling and called for freedom of navigation. The incident served as a wake-up call, strengthening resolve to coordinate more closely.
International bodies expressed serious concern over the tensions. They called on all parties to de-escalate and resolve disputes through dialogue. The incident at Second Thomas Shoal had internationalized the dispute.
The videos of the water cannons and lasers made it difficult for Beijing to control the narrative. The world was watching, and most of the world was not on China's side. The price of failure is simply too high for anyone to bear.
This dramatic standoff serves as a powerful lesson. It shows how quickly a small incident can escalate and draw in major global powers. The risk of miscalculation is immense. Peace in the 21st century is fragile, and the South China Sea is a delicate pressure point. The global stakes are incredibly high. The sea lanes of the South China Sea are the arteries of the world economy. Any disruption would trigger a global economic crisis. Ensuring freedom of navigation is in every nation's interest. This is not just about rocks and reefs, it is about our shared future. The story is a creative interpretation of events designed for educational purposes. It is based on real tactics, real tensions, and real possibilities. The path forward must be one of diplomacy, not confrontation. The world must call on all nations to respect international law. The courage shown by the Filipino crew should inspire us all. Peace is a choice, and it is a choice we must make every single day.